medicine. And so by the time that I had gotten to Nashville, I had already followed the voice of the Lord so much, and knowing that sometimes what God calls us to doesn't look like what we thought, and it doesn't look like what other people thought, and it doesn't look like the most controlled path, or at least that I have control of. So yeah, when I moved to Nashville, I knew it was the Lord calling me because I felt the peace of the Lord. Even if I was afraid, I still felt a deeper down knowing that he was calling me to something that might be difficult, but it was exciting and it felt like an adventure. And I saw the fruit of it, right? Whenever I sing, whenever I write songs and share them with people, it seems to console them. And it brings my heart this kind of fulfillment that not a lot else can. But it was hard. That first year, I tell people now when they move to Nashville too, if I'm trying to just encourage them, I'm like, the first year you move here or do anything, even when it's what is exactly right for your life, it might be really hard at first. It just is. There can be attack because you're doing the right thing. It can just be the changes of life, like the song I put out. Change can just cause us to kind of have some desolation or fear or sadness. It was hard. And that's when, like, relating to this song, I was thinking, there was a thought in my mind, like, is this a sign that I should give up and I should go home? Or maybe I'm supposed to do something else? Or should I keep going? And that was just, sometimes when you're praying every day, you rely on God's strength and you just ask him, like, open the doors that need to be opened and I will keep going, even though this is really hard. Give me the peace, even through the fear and the chaos and the wariness. And he just kept giving me peace. He kept giving me the strength to keep moving forward. And eventually I just found myself with a lot of open doors too. It didn't come right away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard in the spiritual life. Sometimes there's just like a knowing, right?
Yeah.
And then there are people around you. That's why you have to create community around you. Hopefully people have good family, or if they don't, just good friends, mentors, where it's like, hey, do you see that God's also leading me in this direction with whatever it is? Like, because I'm going to humble myself and say, I don't know everything. So please, do you see the fruit of this? Do you feel like God's leading me here? And everybody was pointing me in the right direction. And so obviously you can tell I'm a speaker. I can talk forever.
No. So thank you for that, because this is, I want to hone in on a few things that you said. Okay. Yeah. First of all, you talked about the importance of a community and mentors, and like so many, I taught for a long time, and so many of my students, they're on fire for their faith in high school or even in college. And it's because they were part of a good community. And then either they go off to college or they get out of college, or they're in a place where that community isn't already built in and they haven't been able to find it, or maybe they haven't taken the time to find it. And all of a sudden, like a couple months later, they're like, what happened to my faith? And I, like clockwork, every like September or October or November, I would get emails from my seniors from the previous year who were now in college. And I'd get at least one or two emails every year to just be like, Mr. Tenney, I don't know what's going on. I'm having a hard time or whatever. And it's these times of transition, like they hadn't had that community. The other thing you said was that you had a peace even when things were difficult. Like that is a sure sign from the Lord. When things are rough and you still have that peace, that is a sign that things are going right. And the inverse is true also. When things are going well, but yet you have this discontent, right? Yes. And you can't necessarily nail it down.
I take my time, flex like whoa. I take my time, just let's go. I take my time, flex like whoa. Tell them bado. I take my time, flex like whoa. I take my time, just let's go. I take my time, flex like whoa. Tell them bado. It's like this though.